Hey Todd, tell us about that trip back from Enid.
That was something. That was something. So, this trip back from Enid is one of them stories. Pardon me. That if you have seen my story about how I met God, and I tell you that Dave Reimer, my pastor, pointed out times in my life where God took care of me, this was definitely one of those times. Whew, man. So, we're going to Enid to race, which is about 150 miles from Wichita. 130 somewhere there. Anyway, not important. Almost 2-hour drive. So there's two ways to go. One is right up 35 to the Cimarron Turnpike, go east, or go west, I mean. East goes to Tulsa, west goes to Enid. Go east and nice 4-lane all the way, then you drive through town just a little bit and you're at Enid Speedway. Or you can take the back way, which is a little sketchy, pulling trailer. The roads are okay. You got to understand, and now I'm not bashing anybody in Oklahoma. The roads in Oklahoma suck. They're terrible. They pave over the field and that's it. Anyway. So I always take the highway. It's 30 miles longer. Takes just a pinch longer, but it's a much better drive. Well, this one particular night, we're down there Saturday night. I don't remember if it was an NCRA show or just a regular show or a special or what, but we happened to run really well. We started towards the middle, passed a bunch of cars, we ended up third, and right as I am getting out of the car after the feature, it starts pouring rain. And I mean pouring rain. Well, hey, we got a couple cases of beer, we got a trailer, we close the side door, we're sitting in the trailer, there's probably, I don't know, 10, 15 people in that trailer. A couple guys brought coolers, we're drinking beer, we're having a good time, we're telling stories, we're all talking about how fast we really were. You know, that's what racers do. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, it quits raining. We load the car up, I'm like, I've drank too much beer to take the highway. I'm taking 81 and going the back roads. Yeah. Just letting the truck. Anyway, we get going. I got a pit guy at the time that dressed like he could be on GQ magazine. I mean, his hair was always perfect, his shoes were perfect, his socks were perfect, everything about this guy when he dressed was perfect. And you never knew what he was going to show up to the racetrack with for a date. And he brought several dates to the racetrack. Well, this particular time, he lived about 5 miles from me. We lived in Newton at the time. He brings this gal. And her hair is freaking perfect. Her fingernails are perfect. And she matches his GQ cover boy look. Anyway, we go down there, we run, we're done, we're leaving. It's 3-something in the morning after it rained. This storm was bad enough that some of the people that left right after the races on the way home, there was a tornado that went across the highway in front of some of them. Luckily, no one got hurt, And I don't know if there was any damage, but they could definitely watch the tornado go across the highway in front of them. So it was a pretty bad storm. Anyway, we're on our way home, and I come around this corner, and the road is gone. No road. Don't know where it is. And I'm going 60 mile an hour in a 3/4 ton Chevy pickup with a 10,000 pound trailer behind me with my race car in it. And I know if I hit the brakes, this thing's gonna jackknife. I know if I get off the throttle, this thing's gonna jackknife. And when I tell you there is no road, all I see is a lake. And we hit that water, it's the darndest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. A wall of water went straight up over the truck and into the bed. Never got a drop on my windshield. And the noise, that truck had a body kit on it, had flares. It was early 2000s, that stuff was really cool back then. Had a lower spoiler below the bumper that sat about 6 inches off the ground. That was a really good shovel for that water. That lower spoiler hit that water, and I'm telling you, you couldn't see through it. And as we're hitting that water, not only do we have the noise of that water hitting the front bumper and then landing in the bed, we have the noise of his girlfriend who is laying in his lap asleep. She's sitting in the middle of the seat, laying in his lap. He's leaning up against the side of the truck. They're both asleep, drunk. And we hit that and that noise, and she sits up, and the loudest noise I have ever heard in my life comes out of her mouth. And she is screaming. And my buddy's arm is across the seat, and it's about right here behind my shoulder. And when he wakes up, he didn't mean to do it. He slaps me in the back of the head hard enough that my head almost hit the windshield. So all of this is going on in what seems like very slow motion. And I know we're not going to die, but I'm thinking we're going to be in the middle of this field somewhere in all of this water, and what is this going to cost me to get a wrecker out here tomorrow and pull this rig out of this flooded field? And then how much is it going to cost me to get all the mud out of the truck, out of the trailer, so I can even drive these things back to Wichita? And this is how slow this is happening. I have time to think about all of this. And also hoping that my pit guy's cell phone is charged up and we have a signal so we can call somebody, because I didn't have a cell phone at the time. This is long before I ever had a cell phone. So, and then the water vanished like it was never there. And I am telling you, the hood of my truck, the windshield, bone dry. So then it's like, did that really happen? Because I mean, it was gone. And to top it all off, I'm in the exact middle of the road perfectly. Right straight down the yellow line. on dry pavement like it never happened. Well, I'm telling you what, I probably needed some new pants. We pulled over, not off the road, but we stopped on the road, got out, walked around. The bed of my truck was completely full of water. It was down about this far because it was running out to 2 holes in the bed and a little bit of the tailgate. But it was completely, I'm telling you, there was this much water in that bed. It was completely full of water. Because all of that water landed directly in the bed of that truck. And I walked back there, got a flashlight, walked back there. Sure enough, there's a lake. I just drove through it. I walked back up, and my buddy's kind of really sober now. I mean, he sobered up immediately. And he's looking at me, and he's like, "What was that?" I said, "I don't know. I turned that corner, and there's a low spot right there, and it was full of water. And we hit that water with the front air dam on this truck, and it just..." He's like, "You know how when you wreck, it's in slow motion?" I opened my eyes and thought that brown was a house, and we were running into a house, and the noise was the front end crumpling coming back, and I was waiting to eject through the windshield. I thought I was going to die, and then it just disappeared, and the noise was gone, and all I could hear was her screaming at the top of her lungs like it never happened. And I'm looking around like, what was that? So the only thing I can say is God pointed that truck in the right direction because I had nothing to do with it. I held that steering wheel straight. I didn't let off the throttle. I didn't touch the brake. I just froze, and it was like, and it was gone. So, needless to say, we sat there for 30 minutes before we drove any further. And that is one of the darndest stories I have. Check us out at BRT Race Cars, BRT Trailers, 316-570-2899. If there's anything I can do to help you, give me a call. Have a great day.